I'm in my car a lot, and so it's organized in the way that makes the most sense to me. But it's probably not that different than your own needs. So here's a tour of my car and some tips to help you get your own car organized. Plus, stay tuned to the end for a special hack on helping you get that center console organized. So let's go. So organizing your car is really no different than any other space. You've got to clean out what's there, categorize, cull, and then find the best organizing solution for the space. But the very first step is to decide what you want your car experience to be like. What are the top 2 or 3 elements that are really important to you? Those are going to dictate where and how you store things in the car. As a professional organizer, I'm not just driving to clients' homes. I'm usually carrying tools and hardware and organizing product that I might need for the job. And then when I leave the client's home, I'm almost always hauling away usable goods to donate or recycling or hazardous waste to take to the dump. I eat about 4 to 5 meals a week in the car. And then on top of all that, I just enjoy and want my car experience to be peaceful and relaxing. So my top 3 priorities are: I need a lot of hauling space, I need the things that I access frequently to be really easy to reach, and then I just want the overall experience to be peaceful and relaxing. Your priorities will probably be different. If I was a mom with a young child still, I would definitely have different priorities. And even having a teenager in the car changes the scenario. Some things that might be important for you are housing snacks, games and activities, sporting goods, corralling electronics, maybe safety items, and maybe you work out of your car, and so you have samples and paperwork to deal with. What do you want being in the car to be like? That's a really important question that I would spend some time thinking about, because that is going to dictate where and how you store things in the car. So let's start the tour. It's important to me with my organizing business to have an empty back seat and a cargo area, because I'm always hauling stuff. And since I'm throwing stuff around, I try to protect the surfaces as best I can. So you'll see I've got this black towel over my back seat. And what's nice about this is not only am I protecting the upholstery, but when I'm moving small furniture or things that need to be wrapped in the cargo area, it's easy for me to just come grab this towel and use it. And then also that way I don't have to have another thing like a small blanket or something that I have to figure out where to store in the car. So it works out really well for both. I try to keep the cargo area clear for the next day by taking donations straight to the drop-off, or if it's recycling or hazardous waste, I just try to go straight to the dump. But obviously that's not always possible, but that's been a good system for me. And that way it's empty every morning for whatever I need it to do that day. So oftentimes with clients, I am installing shelving, hanging pictures, or assembling furniture. So I have to have tools and hardware in the car for every job. And so I wanted to create a system that would work well for me. I knew my tools would be heavy enough, so I have them in a separate bag. But I wanted something that would stack so that it didn't take up so much floor space back here in the cargo area. And so I knew I wanted an open bin. And I tried, rigid plastic, and I just didn't like it. I felt like it scratched the sides. And the canvas, folding, collapsible things are just not strong enough to hold the tool bag. So for me, the perfect solution was the woven bin with the wire support. And I just found containers that were the right size for my different hardware categories. I like those categories. And these are just food storage containers from Walmart. So the whole thing altogether only cost like $25, but it's a great system for me because then my tool bag can just stack on top and it doesn't take up a lot of space. Now, I also, about a fourth of the time, need to fold my seats down because I just need the extra cargo space. And so I needed to be able to move the tools and hardware. So I purposely made this system the right size to fit in the back seat behind the passenger seat, and with the handles down here, I can easily move that whenever I need to put the seats down, and it just turned out to be a great solution. The second thing that's really important to me is creating a peaceful and relaxing space. I'm in my car a lot, and so I just want it to be a place I enjoy being. Often in the car at lunchtime, and so it's so valuable for me to be able to come and have a place that's just by myself. It can be quiet. I can listen to the radio if I want. I can take a power nap. It just allows me to reset, and that's a big deal for me. And part of that feeling of peaceful and relaxing is that it's tidy and clean. I find that when my car gets cluttered, I'm just not as relaxed. Part of creating a tidy and clean car is just the habit of throwing away trash every day and then taking things from the car into the house every evening. But honestly, an equally important aspect is where things are stored. You know, every car has a different shape. There's different console configurations, side door pockets are different shape, your center console's different. And you know, car manufacturers get a lot of feedback from consumers, and they create the best structure that they can. So my best advice is to actually take advantage of that and not go and get extra organizing product and things that you may not need. So for instance, if you've got a place for your sunglasses, use that, and a pocket for your cell phone, use that. You know, obviously what you may need in your priorities may not match the way the car is set up, and so you may need to do additional organizing product. And especially if you have kids in the car a lot, you are probably going to need some extra organizational structure. But in general, I have found that less is more. And when the car starts to feel cluttered to me, it's usually because I'm just trying to fit too much in the car. My third priority is being able to access the things I use on a regular basis really easily. And so since I eat in the car a lot, getting to napkins and utensils is a big deal to me. And equally important are reading glasses. So let's take a look around the front of the car. My door has an umbrella and hand sanitizer. The passenger door has backup water in case I forget my water that I bring every day. So in my glove box, I've just got things that I would need the most. I've got backup disposable masks. I've got all my important car insurance and paperwork. I've got a tire gauge and a scraper, wipes for the car in case I need to clean something down, and Band-Aids. And since the owner's manual is so big, I keep it under the passenger seat in the back. And that opened up a lot more space in the glove box for things that I needed more often. Consoles are a valuable space, and this is where subdividing with containers can really be helpful. So in my console, I have my napkins in the top, and then everything else on the bottom. And if you've listened to any or watched any of my videos, you know that categorizing is really the secret to everything. And so I've categorized, sorry about the train, and organized my console in ways that make sense to me. So obviously, as you know, I eat in the car, so I have utensils. I have those glasses that are really important. Writing, a couple of pens and paper. I have electronics. And then I have a little personal box. So this has a screen wipe, which is not just for glasses, but also for the car. And then I have some toothpicks, my business cards, bobby pins, and a little scissor knife thing that if I need to cut something. I used to carry more things in the car, but I've learned that if I haven't used it in a while, I don't need it. And things like hand lotion and chapstick and any kind of makeup stuff, I always just keep that in my purse because the heat I found was not very friendly to those things. So the things that are in this console can stay in here all year round, and they are things that I do use. So I have everything that I need. It's easy to reach, and because it's in separate containers, it's super easy to access. I can just pull out the one container I need and it doesn't mess up the whole console. I can also just kind of be able to reach in there and feel and pull it out without looking, which sometimes is a nice thing to be able to do. If you'd like to find some organizing solutions for your size console, here's a special trick to help you when you're out shopping to select the right product. And then we'll talk containers. The first step is to measure your console's length, width, and height. And just make sure you take into account any obstructions like this lighter in mine. Okay, so I have my measurements. My console is 7 inches long, 5 inches wide, and it is 5 inches tall. Plus I have my little obstruction in there. So now we're going to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. We're going to start towards the bottom here. We're basically going to make a 3-dimensional version of this console just using 2 sides of a folded piece of paper. So we're going to create a rectangle, the dimensions of the bottom of the console. So we're going to go 7 inches at the bottom. And it doesn't have to be, the measurements need to be exact, but the square plumbness of your square doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Okay, now we're going to go 5 inches up. On both sides. Sorry, my ring light's reflecting a little bit here on the ruler. So 5 inches. And then we'll do our other 7 up here. So now we're going to draw in our obstruction. I know I only have 5.5 inches to play with up here, so we're going to mark there. And so 3 inches on this side. So here's my square here. Okay, so this is not usable space because that is where the obstruction is. Now we're going to continue to make our height, which is going to be the folded piece of paper this way. So we're going to extend this side of the rectangle the measurement of the height of the console, which is 5 inches. So we're going to go another 5 inches here. Both sides. And then we'll connect those. Okay. So that is a representation of the bottom of the console and the side. So we're going to take a minute and cut that out. Now we have our form, and we're going to fold it along our crease here, or our mark. And we're going to fold it back this way. Now you have a 3-dimensional form of your console. And I know now that I can use any of this space, can't use that, and I can go as high as this. So now I can just fold this, put it in my pocket, my purse, take it where I'm going to the store to shop, because not every store is going to let you take things out into your car to try them out to see if they work. So here are the containers that worked well for my console. And you'll notice that my height worked out just perfectly for this guy to be up on his end like this. You'll notice also in the console that it was really a better idea for me to remove this lid because I'm going to have pencils and a notepad in here, and it's going to get in the way of my hand reaching into the console. So I'm just going to take scissors and cut this. I found these food storage containers at the Container Store, and they're just the right size for what I needed them to do, and they have a really good close, which was important because I knew that some of my boxes were going to be on their sides, and so they had to be able to stay closed. And now I have a perfect little size container for my notepad, something to write with. I can just reach in and grab. Remember, this is the top of the console, so it's a really good height. And then I've got personal items that I would want to access fairly often. Right here with a good closing lid. They're not going to fall out. And then I've got extra phone and AV cords that I hardly ever use but need to be in the car, right there on the bottom. And then I've got my glasses that rest here and my packet of utensils. Here's how they look in the console. And I am good to go. Appreciate your car for the partner it is and all the wonderful things that it does for you. And enjoy thinking about your car time as an experience instead of just a means to get you from one place to the next. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you'd like more organizing videos from B & Peacock Organizing, please click subscribe. And don't forget the bell so you'll be notified of all the latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.